Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we are following up tonight on the disastrous flooding back in August that left several communities struggling. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Many towns saw homes, bridges, roads, buildings destroyed and washed out by floodwater. Southbury was one of them.
Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot has an update on what the town of Southbury is doing to rebuild.
Southbury will use up to $6 million to help fund repairs that were caused by the August flooding. Among the many buildings, the Southbury Library was destroyed. As you can see in these pictures, mud and gunk completely covered books and bookcases, and for many in town, this library has a big impact on their everyday lives. The library is receiving more than $2 million to get repairs underway. The main concern is replacing the boilers in the basement. Members at large of the Friends of the Library group are happy that something is being done, but say something should have been done sooner.
It's been closed now for going on 11 weeks, and we are just finally getting a plan together that involves, frankly, some bureaucratic hurdles to go through. But the town, to its benefit and to the credit of our board of selectmen, is going forward knowing full well that we may not be fully reimbursed for what we're doing, but because we recognize the importance of this asset to our town.
The town will be allocating about $3 million to work on the Old Waterbury Road project. Southbury First Selectman Jeff Manville is hopeful that a good majority of the $6 million being spent in town will be reimbursed by FEMA. Olson told me no matter how old or young, the library is for everyone. Between the programming that goes on, the books and the computers that people have access to, he's hopeful that these repairs can start soon. In Southbury, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Kay, thank you. We have new developments surrounding the Hawthorne fire in Berlin. Firefighters say conditions are improving and they don't need as many crews fighting the brush fire now. That being said, they are still holding out hope for fire-ending precip to end the now 18-day-long fight. The Berlin Fire Department told us a few hours ago the fire is 73% contained and 127 acres of Lamentation Mountain have burned. Smaller crews are monitoring it now. Officials are asking us to respect closures and not burn anything. They also say wood stove ashes are the top cause, which have caused other flames. Officials thanked out-of-state help and neighbors for the support.
The public support throughout the incident has been overwhelming. It's, just so heartfelt to see the notes, the donations, the food, everything that the public's been doing for us throughout this event. We do appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts.
Officials say people will notice smoke around Rocky Neck as they try to put out the fires from the outside in. Well, even though the Hawthorne fire is nearly under control, there is a red flag warning here in Connecticut.
We were talking about flooding at the top of the show, too, and it's like hard to even think about flooding, Rachel, when we're in a bit of a drought almost here, right?
Yeah, it seems like we've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other, and I shouldn't say it seems like, we absolutely have done that. So what does a red flag warning mean? It means that any brush fires that end up starting or that are already occurring can catch or spread more quickly. So why is this in effect tomorrow? It was just as dry today, but the reason why is because I think we see more of a gusty wind. So that will kind of add insult to injury. And it's just the National Weather Service's way of reminding everyone to stay extra vigilant, no open burning, and make sure that you're extinguishing any smoking materials properly, which is something that we should be doing anyway. This may end up extending into Saturday because I think Saturday will be breezy as well. I did want to also mention this. As of today, the U.S. Drought Monitor report, it comes out once a week, every Thursday, now has Connecticut widespread in a moderate drought, which comes as a surprise to absolutely no one. We're going to talk more about what these numbers mean in just a little bit, but I want to get you caught up on the weather forecast for tonight because those temperatures are tumbling out there. It's a lot cooler than it has been the last few nights and following mornings. We'll see low temperatures between 35 to right around 40 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow, but we are looking at plenty of sunshine out there. Again, we begin in the upper 30s to low 40s first thing in the morning. By lunchtime, temperatures are close to 60 and we'll see highs in the low to mid-60s as we head through the afternoon. A northwest wind at 10 to 20, but we could see higher gusts up to 30 miles an hour. It does turn even cooler as we head into the start of the weekend, and we finish the weekend with the chance for some showers. Not a soaking rain, but we'll take it. We'll explain coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, a moderate drought condition has been declared in the state. Now, Norwich Public Utilities is asking customers to be water aware. Rivers and reservoirs are running lower than usual. In Norwich, the public drinking supply level has gone down to 80% capacity. MPU says there's no reason to panic, though.
We're keeping a close eye on it and asking people to be a little bit more mindful in terms of their water use. So if you could take a shorter shower, if you could hold off on washing your car in the driveway or using a hose to clean up your driveway, make sure you're using a full load in your dishwasher or your washing machine. That'll save some water, and then collectively, if we can get enough of our customers to do that, it'll help us get through this challenging time.
Moderate drought is the second of 5 stages of drought, and right now water restrictions are voluntary, not mandatory.
We have breaking news tonight. Police in Maine are investigating a crash that killed a Connecticut woman. It happened last night in Portland, where investigators say Cynthia Karst of Ridgefield was crossing an intersection when she was hit, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the car was a man from Portland. His identity was not given. We'll update you when we learn more.
A Guilford man's being accused of leaving a loaded gun in a movie theater. Police say they were notified of a bag found in a Cinemark theater in July. Well, when Cinemark workers searched the bag, they found that loaded handgun. North Haven police discovered Brian Goyenechea owned the gun and did not have a permit. Police made the arrest, and Goyenechea has been charged but is out on bond.
And we're learning more tonight about a house fire in Plainville where a man escaped with his 2 dogs.
The homeowner was taken to the hospital as a precaution, and we're told he's staying with relatives tonight.
Fox 61's Matt Karen explains how quick response from the fire department and the quick actions of neighbors all helped prevent tragedy.
Well, neighbors say this fire got out of control very quickly, and the man who lived inside was lucky to get out. He's staying with family and likely won't be able to move back in for at least 6 months. Take a look, the intense flames from this home on James Place in Plainville.
We actually just got home last night and we saw flames coming through the woods area. We noticed it was a large, high flame, pretty visible. So we walked down to check to make sure our neighbors were okay.
Firefighters got there just after 7:30 Wednesday.
On arrival, heavy fire from the bonus space above the garage. The house is heavily damaged.
But those fire crews weren't the first ones on scene. Several neighborhood teens spotted the danger and ran toward it.
They actually saw it. They took a couple of Snapchats, a couple of videos for us just to give us some heads up of what it looked like in advance. They ran down, knocked on the door, helped the gentleman out with one of the dogs.
2 Great Danes escaped the home along with the man who lived there. The dogs ran away. At least one of them was found.
There were 2 Great Danes. One has been recovered. And as of this morning when I left the scene, there was still one in the neighborhood that we couldn't retrieve.
Fox 61 observed crews boarding up the partially charred house Thursday. A restoration team was charged with securing the home from further water damage. It's still not clear what caused the fire. Neighbors told Fox 61 they're just glad the flames didn't spark a brush fire or explode a propane tank.
We have an area that has a lot of leaves, as you can see on the ground, so it's one thing that the neighbors were worried about, as well as having propane on the street too, not knowing what can happen with a fire that large.
The fire marshal also told us that the man who was inside tried to extinguish the flames himself. Fire marshal says that's never a good idea. You should always just get out and call the fire department. Reporting in Plainville, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Election day has come and gone, and on the state level, things are staying relatively status quo. In the state house, Democrats still hold the majority. It was announced today Speaker Matt Ritter and Majority Leader Jason Rojas were endorsed to maintain their roles for the upcoming legislative session. Ritter was sworn in as Speaker of the House back in 2021. Rojas was also sworn in as Majority Leader that same year. On the Senate side for the Democrats, State Senator Martin Looney was reelected as Senate President pro tempore. He's been in that that role since 2015 and in the General Assembly since the 80s. He'll be heading into his 16th term in the state Senate this January. Also re-elected to his position, State Senator Bob Duff will return as Senate Majority Leader. Duff took office in the state Senate in 2005 and then 10 years later assumed the role of Majority Leader from outgoing leader and soon-to-be President pro tem Martin Looney.
On the Republican front, State Senator Stephen Harding is being tapped by the state Senate Republican caucus to remain as Senate Minority Leader for another 2 years. Harding took over the role earlier this year, replacing former GOP leader Kevin Kelly. Harding has served the 30th Senate District since 2022, which is the largest geographic district in the state. We have not heard news yet on the House Republican leader position, currently held by State Rep Vincent Candelora. The 2025 legislative session will convene on January 8th, 2025.
We've been talking the past couple of days about the Rockefeller Center tree, but New Haven's Christmas tree has just arrived. Take a look here, standing tall on the New Haven green. Soon enough, it'll be covered in lights and decorations. The tree will be lit during the city's annual tree lighting festival on December 5th. In the next few weeks, a Hanukkah menorah and Kwanzaa display will be added as well, and this will kick off all of New Haven's holiday festivities.